Hello everyone, so welcome back to SRS Academy YouTube channel. As you all know that how much life processes are important to every organism. So in this video we are going to discuss an important life process of the living organisms, that is regarding nutrition. So in that now I am taking nutrition in human beings, and you all know that human beings are examples for heterotrophic organisms, right? They are all called as heterotrophs. Why we call them as heterotrophs? Because they obtain their food from others and they cannot prepare their own food. So then how does the digestion takes place in these human beings? So now in this video we are going to discuss this part, that is with the help of the diagram, how does the nutrition or digestion takes place in human beings. And before moving on to the topic, so please subscribe to my channel if you have not done yet, and then click the bell icon to get the further updates. So now, what do you mean by nutrition? So it is a process where the food is taken in and how do we utilize it, right? So we call it as nutrition. And we know that since we are heterotrophic organisms, our body cells are not in direct contact with the environment. So for that reason, our body has specialized organ system to perform a specific task. And for nutrition purpose, we have the system that is called as digestive system, and we can also call it as alimentary canal. Then how does it looks? Maybe you have studied this alimentary canal in your previous classes. See, this is the diagram which indicates the digestive system of the human body. And then when you look at it carefully, we can observe that it looks like a long tubular part, right? So this long tubular part which starts from the mouth and which ends at the anus, we call it as alimentary canal. So you may know the definition of alimentary canal. So what is alimentary canal? It is a long tubular part which starts from mouth and ends at anus. So we call it as alimentary canal. So this organ system helps in the digestion of the food. Then how does the digestion takes place? If you recall your previous classes, you know that whatever food you are having in your daily life, it contains many nutrients, right? So for example, carbohydrates, proteins, and then lipids, vitamins and minerals. Along with this, you will also have water and roughage. Then whenever we intake this food, these food are in the form of complex, right? Because when the plant prepares the food, they stores the excess glucose in the form of starch. So the starch is a complex food, whereas the glucose which is prepared by the plant body, it is the simple food, that means it is a simple nutrient. But here our body, it cannot absorb that complex food, that is starch, so it must be broken down into simple form. So these processes happens in this alimentary canal, that is our alimentary canal or digestive system. It converts the complex food into simple food which can be easily absorbed by our intestine. So how does this takes place? So now we will move on to the topic, that is how does the digestion takes place and what happens at different steps, that means or at different stages. So then whenever we have the food, so our digestion, that means the food digestion starts from the mouth. So what happens in the mouth? As you all know, our mouth contains teeth, and we have many types of teeth. I think you know that. That is 4 types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars. So incisors, they help in cutting the food, canines tearing the food, and premolars and molars, they help in grinding of the food, right? So with the help of teeth, whatever food we intake, that is the food which contains many nutrients, they gets broken into many small pieces with the help of the teeth. Clear? Where it happens? It happens in the mouth. So for this, our teeth, they helps in the breaking of the food into small pieces. And along with that, our alimentary canal, it is the soft organ, that means soft organ system. Since it is very soft and delicate, the food which we are intaking through our mouth, it must be also soft and smooth. So this takes place by an substance, we call it as what? Saliva, right? I think you can remember that what is the meaning of saliva. So whenever you feel hungry and when you imagine any food substances, your mouth starts watering, right? Is it actually water? Yeah, it look like water, but this watery substance, it contains saliva. So what is there in the saliva? So this saliva contains an enzyme that is called as salivary amylase. Keep it in mind, it is very important. The saliva contains salivary amylase enzyme. So what is the function of the salivary amylase enzyme? So when we look at into the function of the salivary amylase, as we know that the plant stores the food in the form of starch, right? So this starch is broken down into sugar. So this is the important function of the salivary amylase. So starch is the complex food, clear? Whereas the sugar, it is the simple food. So this is made by the help of salivary amylase. So along with this function, the salivary amylase, it also makes the food soft. So it has to be moved in the alimentary canal easily. Okay, so these things happens in the mouth, and along with this, our mouth also has one more organ, that tongue. Then what is the function of tongue? So the tongue, it helps to speak. I think you know that. If you don't know, you can do the experiment by yourself. Just hold your tongue with the help of your fingers and then try to speak up. Can you speak properly? No. So then our tongue, it helps to what? The tongue helps to speak, right? And along with this, what other function it will do? So whenever you have the foods, either pizza, burger, and then upma, anything, so you will feel that some food, they taste sour, they taste bitter, right? That means our tongue, another function is it helps to taste the food, and along with these two, our tongue, it also helps in mixing of the food, right? It helps in mixing of the food with the saliva. Clear? Then who else will do this? So it is a function of tongue. So our digestion, that means the food digestion, start from where? Mouth. Okay, so in the mouth, the food particles are made into small pieces, and with the help of salivary amylase, the starch, it gets broken down into sugar, which is complex, and it converts it into simple sugar. So after this, we will swallow the food, right? When you swallow the food, then the food, it moves down through the alimentary canal to reach stomach, and in between these two, there is a pipe, we call it as food pipe, that we call it as esophagus. So then what is the function of the esophagus? So easily we can say, since it looks like a tubular part, it carries the food from the mouth to the stomach, right? But keep it in mind, here also we can observe many movements. What is that movement? Say for example, if you stand upside down and if you have the food, does the food moves in your alimentary canal? Yes, actually, even though if you stand upside down, the food, it moves in your alimentary canal till it reaches anus. You know why? Because of the action of muscles. So we all have muscles, and then we know the function of muscle. So commonly, what is the function of muscle? So the muscles which are present in our body, that helps in movement, right? You have learned this in your previous class. So the function of the muscle is they helps in movement. So here also this alimentary canal, they have muscles in their walls. So what they will do? So these muscles, they shows the wave-like action. I will repeat again, the muscles which are present in the walls of the alimentary canal, they will show the wave-like action. So what is that wave-like action, and what is the importance of this wave-like action is, so this wave-like action of the muscles, that helps to move the food forward. So for example, if it is the alimentary canal or esophagus, see, wherever the food is coming, they shows the wave like action. So the wave like action which is made by the muscles, they pushes the food forward. That means here it is moving downwards. So this wave like action of the muscles which takes place in our alimentary canal, we call it as peristalsis. Okay, so we call it as peristalsis. So what do you mean by peristalsis? So peristalsis, it is the wave-like action of the muscles which pushes the food forward in the alimentary canal. So then by the action of peristalsis, now the food has reached our stomach. So now where is the food? Now the food comes to stomach. Then what happens in the stomach? So from here it will become very interesting. You know why? Because the food major digestion start from here. In the mouth only carbohydrate has broken down, but from here other nutrients are going to break down. So now we will move on to the stomach. When we look at into the structure of the stomach, so in the inner walls of the stomach it contains glands. Keep it in mind, our stomach in their inner walls they have glands. So we call these glands as gastric glands. So sometimes you may feel that, so why we are saying this as gastric? I think you have heard this gastric word, where acidity, right? So your parents or your elders, sometimes they may say they have gastric, but actually what is the meaning of this gastric? So that is, these are present in the stomach. So these gastric glands, they secrete some chemicals. So we call them as sometimes enzyme and other chemicals also. So what are the secretions of these gastric gland in the stomach? That is, first one, these gastric glands which are present in the stomach, they secrete mucus. Okay, the first secretion is mucus, and then the second secretion is pepsin. Then the third secretion which is made by the gastric gland is hydrochloric acid. So now we will look at into the function of each of these secretions. Then what is the function of this HCl? So we know that hydrochloric acid. So this hydrochloric acid, it kills bacteria. This is a major function of the HCl which is present in your stomach. It kills what? It kills bacteria or it kills microbes, right? So this is the function of hydrochloric acid. So along with this, one more function of the HCl is, see here, we have pepsin. So pepsin is an protein digesting enzyme. I will repeat, pepsin is an protein digesting enzyme. So for the digestion of the proteins, it needs pepsin, and for the functioning of the pepsin, it needs acidic medium. Okay, for the function of the pepsin, what it needs? It needs an acidic medium. So that acidic medium, it is created by HCl. So this HCl, it creates acidic medium. Clear? So for what? So it creates acidic medium for the functioning of pepsin. Then when it comes to the function of pepsin, just now I said this pepsin is an protein digesting enzyme. It breaks protein which is present in the food, breaks protein. Yeah, then the third secretion of the gastric gland is mucus. Then what is the function of mucus? So if you recall, what is this HCl? It is an acid, right? It is a strong acid. So when you pour some strong acids on your skin, what happens to your skin? Our skin burns, right? But even though the strong acid is present in our stomach is not burning. Why? That is because of the mucus. So this mucus, it prevents the stomach from burning. That means the mucus, it protects the stomach from HCl. Clear? So this is the function of the mucus. So mucus, it protects stomach from who? Stomach from hydrochloric acid. So this is the function of the gastric gland and the secretions which are made by these gastric glands. Okay, so now where is the food? The food is present in our stomach. Now our stomach secrete everything. So mucus protects the stomach, pepsin, it breaks the protein, and HCl, it kills the microbe, and along with that it gives acidic medium for the pepsin to act on the proteins. Then, so along with this, the muscles which are present in the walls of the stomach, they perform a churning action. They churns the food. So after churning of the food, then it becomes a curd like structure. So that structure we call it as chyme. Clear? So till this step, the food remains in the stomach for 3 to 4 hours. So this much time our food remains in the stomach. So for this reason, you will, what your elders will say. So after having food, immediately you should not sleep. You know why? Because it takes time for the digestion of the food in our stomach. So after having food, immediately you should not sleep. Clear? Because it needs some time for the digestion of the food in our stomach. And then within this 3 to 4 hour gap, you should not have any other foods also. So for that reason, we have made how many durations for your eatings? That is morning one time, afternoon and night. That is 3 hours. That means 3 times. But nowadays what we are doing, that is we are eating whenever we get time. Either milk, soft drinks, hot drinks, etc., right? So because of our lifestyle, now we are all facing one more problem, that is acidity. So this acidity is again due to the HCl, which causes acidity due to our lifestyle. Okay, so now come to the point. So in the stomach, the food is become chyme. So this chyme, after digestion in the stomach, now it enters into small intestine. Clear? So here the small intestine, it is a major part of the digestive system, and it is a long tubular part. Keep it in mind, it is a long tubular part, but there is a difference in this length of the intestine when we look at into the herbivores. So I think you know the meaning of herbivores. So which kind of animals are called as herbivores? That is the animals which eat the plants, right? So we call them as herbivores. So in case of herbivores, the small intestine is very long. What is the reason? Because these herbivores, they eat plant, and then we know that the plant, they contains cellulose, right? For the digestion of the cellulose, it takes much time. So since they need much time to break down the cellulose, or for the digestion of the cellulose, the small intestine which is present in the herbivores is usually long. And then when it comes to the carnivores, either carnivores or omnivores. So then what do you mean by carnivores? So carnivores are the organisms which eat flesh, that means which eat meat, right? And here in these carnivores, the length of the small intestine is not that much long, they have short. Why? Because they will not eat the plants, and there is no need to break the cellulose. So the digestion of the meat or flesh is very easy. For that reason, the carnivores, they will have short intestine, that means short small intestine. So then, what happens in the small intestine and how does the food gets digested in the small intestine? So now let us look at into that. So as we have seen, the food is become acidic in the stomach, but when the acidic food enters into the small intestine, keep it in mind, here we have one more organ that is called pancreas. So this pancreas also secretes some juices, so we call it as pancreatic juice. What do we call them? So we call them as pancreatic juices. So for the function of these pancreatic juices, the food must be in alkaline condition. What do you mean by alkaline? So alkaline meaning basic condition. But now what is the condition of the food? The food which is coming from the stomach, it is acidic. So then the acidic food has to be converted into alkaline. So that is made by the liver. Clear? And liver contains what? See, gallbladder. So in the gallbladder, it stores bile. So with the help of this bile duct, the bile is secreted into the small intestine. So here it is secreted. Then what is the function of this bile? Now we will look at into the function of bile which is secreted by liver. So as we said, the food which is coming from the stomach, it is acidic, and this acidic food be converted into alkaline for the action of pancreatic juices on this food. So it is made by bile. How? So these bile, and we commonly call it as bile salts. So these bile salts, they are alkaline. So these alkaline bile salts, they mixes with the food and they makes the acidic food into alkaline condition. Okay, so this is one function of the liver and function of the bile salt. Then along with this alkaline condition, the bile also performs one more activity, that is the bile helps in breaking of the fat. It helps in breaking of fat molecules. How? Now listen. Pancreatic juice also contains an enzyme that is called lipase. So this lipase, it breaks the lipids. But here this lipase, it is unable to break down the complex lipids. That means the long or large lipid molecules must be broken down. So that breaking of the large lipid molecules is made by bile salts. Clear? By the action of, we call it as emulsification of fat. Keep it in mind, we call it as emulsification of fat. That means if it is a fat molecule, these biles, they covers the fat and they breaks the fat into simple molecules. So these simple fat molecules then broken up by lipase. So these are the two function of the bile salts. Okay, now when the bile salts are added to the food becomes alkaline, and along with this our the pancreas also secrete pancreatic juices. So these pancreatic juices contains two enzymes. Now remember, pancreatic juices, these pancreatic juices, they contains not only two, there are many, but now according to the syllabus we are taking only two of them, that is trypsin. Okay, this is the one of the enzyme which is present in the pancreatic juice, and the second one is, just now I said, that is lipase. Then what is the function of trypsin? So if I look at into the function of trypsin, this trypsin, it breaks protein digesting enzyme. Clear? So trypsin breaks the proteins, and the lipase, it breaks lipids digestion. So these are the functions of the secretion of our pancreatic juices. Then see, now the food moves in the small intestine. Clear? So whenever the food is moving in the small intestine, this small intestine also contains some glands. So these glands also secrete intestinal juices. What it will secrete? They secrete intestinal juices. So then these intestinal juices also help in breakdown of the food in the small intestine. So what they will do is, So these intestinal juices which are secreted by the small intestine, they breaks, just keep it in mind, carbohydrates, so which are the complex molecules, into simple glucose. Clear? And then all proteins, finally keep it in mind, proteins are complex food, all these protein molecules finally they broken down into amino acids, because amino acids are the simple molecules. And then the lipids, when it comes to the lipids, so these lipids gets broken down into fatty acids and glycerol. So see, finally the digestion of the food from complex to simple has made in small intestine. So then the digestion of the food ends at small intestine. But where it starts? The digestion of the food starts from mouth and it ends at small intestine. And then the most important part in the small intestine is presence of the villi. Okay, so what do you mean by that villi? See, for example, so if I take the section of the small intestine, so inside the small intestine we can observe numerous finger-like projections, right? On both the side we can observe these finger-like projections. What are these finger-like projections? So we call them as villi. Okay, so the function of the villi is, now these villi, they contains numerous blood capillaries, that means the blood is flowing in the villi. Then what happens in the villi or in the small intestine is, the villi which is present in the small intestine, they absorb the food. Which kind of food? That is the digested food. That which one? That is glucose, amino acids, fatty acids. So these digested foods are absorbed by the villi and they gets transported to blood. So the blood, it carries the absorbed nutrients to the cell wherever it is needed. Clear? So this happens in small intestine. That is, after the digestion of the food completely, the finger-like projections which is present in the villi, the finger-like projections which are present in small intestine, they absorb the digested food and they gets transported to the necessary cells or where they need it with the help of transport system, that is blood. So then after the absorption of these digested food, the solid waste materials, that is the remaining food, it enters into large intestine. Okay, so then what happens in the large intestine? So when the waste materials enters into the large intestine, our large intestine, its main function is it absorbs water. Clear? Our large intestine absorbs water and then it pushes the waste materials forward. So then this food we call it as fecus. That is, it is not a food, that is, it is the waste after absorption of the necessary nutrients. So then these waste materials which is moving in the large intestine, we call it as fecus. So then these fecus, it comes out of the anus. Clear? So this is the process of digestion which takes place in the human digestive system. Now important part, one more important part here is, in these positions we have some muscles, we call it as at the stomach, here we call it as sphincter muscle. What do we call it? We call it as sphincter muscle. So what is the function of the sphincter muscle is, see, as I said, the food remains in the stomach for how many hours? 3 to 4 hours for digestion. Then the food, it is maintained in the stomach because of the presence of this sphincter muscle. So it acts as a gate. Clear? So this sphincter muscle, it controls the movement of the food from the stomach into intestine. Like that, we have one more sphincter muscle at the anus, we call it as anal sphincter muscle. So what is the function of this anal sphincter muscle? That is, it is regulation. It is the regulation of the egestion of the waste material. Egestion of the waste material. So this is the function of anal sphincter muscle. So by this way, the nutrients that gets digested and they gets absorbed in the small intestine. So this happens in the heterotrophic organism. So in this example we are taking human beings. So now if you like this video, so please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for the further notifications and further videos, and then forward these videos to your friends and your relatives, those who need it. Thank you.